right? No Gi Judo situation, right? I'm gonna call it Judo, right? Although it's not, really Judo, because the front headlock position is not that Judo-ish. You don't see it that often, right? Because of the nature of guillotine and cranking on the neck and throwing with the guillotine and throwing with the neck, right? A lot of the times if you're choking someone, if you're behind me, right, you see most of our mass is beneath us and then our heads are aligned up here, okay? So it's not gonna put too much torque. But if you're choking me with a guillotine, right, up in this position, most of this mass is back here. Most of my mass is back here. Right now, it's going to cause a lot of torque and craziness on the neck, right? So you don't see it as much when you're talking like in terms of like an Olympic sport and safety and all this stuff. And I'm not crazy about like the flying guillotine sort of a situation, right? But I do have a couple of tips because I did wrestle back in the day and I did a little nogi and I've done a lot of grappling in my days. Right? Okay, so lead leg right. Pulse with the back hand, bring the head down. As soon as my head is over my opponent's head, look, I throw my shoulder over to the back of his neck here, okay? Notice the position of my hand is gonna be right by his chin, and generally speaking, I like putting my hand on the tricep here. If he does nothing, and if he's allowing my hands to just kind of hang out, look, I can connect my hands and go standing high elbow guillotine, okay? But no one in their right mind gonna let you do this, right? So he's gonna immediately start fighting my hands, which is going to cause a little bit of trouble because once he has control over my hand here, right, grab both hands here, right, two hands. Now it's going to be very difficult for me to connect my hands and choke, okay? Right, you see this barrier here, right? Even over here, very, very difficult. So my goal from here is to snap my opponent down so both of his hands go to the ground. If he keeps this, his face is going to go straight into the ground, okay? He's not going to want to do that. The way I do this snap down is I bring my leg back and snap my opponent's head where my leg used to be. Okay, so I'm going to kick this leg back, snap him down, boom. So now his hands go to the ground. Once his hands go to the ground, look, the neck opens up and I'm able to connect my hands. And now look, I could look for this guillotine situation, okay? But because this is not sort of a guillotine tutorial, I'm not going to go too deep into this. My whole situation is to kind of teach how I would sort of take the opponent down from here. So I pull him down, his hands go to the mat. Okay, bring your hands down to the ground. Hands down to the ground. I'm looking for this guillotine. He prevents me from finishing this guillotine by bringing this arm over my shoulder, okay? So now it's gonna be very difficult to get this leverage to finish this choke, okay? Which is okay for me because now I'm gonna thread this arm, I'm gonna pivot off my hip, put this head down, and throw my hips all the way through. And now look, I have a nice little sneaky choke. That's sort of waiting for Georgie, right? Did you like that sneaky little choke? Yeah, right? Inside, backhand pulse, head goes down, shoulder goes over the head, right? If he goes immediately, look, I try to pivot this way and think again. If he goes over that, right? But generally, that's not gonna be his first move. His first move is gonna be to connect his hands around my hand to prevent my hands from locking, okay? So, pulse, head, boom. He tries to fight this hand off, right? I have to immediately try to bring his hands to the ground. Look, I snap down, and now I'm in this position, looking for the guillotine, right? His hands are on the ground, so I could actually even opt not to go for the guillotine. Look, I can just take my leg through, and then go attack the back, okay? That's an option too, right? He's grabbing onto my hands now again, right? He's looking for the choke. I can snap him again, take his back, okay? Looking for the guillotine now. He brings his shoulder, arm over the shoulder, break this one through, finishing the choke, right then and there, right? So a couple different options there. Now, I have an opponent. When I snap him down, he's very, very good, and he's not going down because he's a very strong base, okay? Maybe I fake the shot, I change levels, boom, I'm pulling him down, right? And his head keeps coming up. In this case, I'm going to attack either of these legs, whichever leg is close to me. In this case, I'm going to go for the uchi, drop my hips through, go uchi. Okay, as I finish, I'm going to hop and try to finish in this side. Circle this way a little bit more. All right, finish here. Cranking. A little uchi situation from there, right? Boom, front headlock, underhook, uchi, finish. Okay. One headlock, sumi. Okay. The mechanics of this choke is very interesting. I grab my chest, I sit to my hip, then I elevate my elbow. Right? So I have a couple different options from there in this front headlock situation. Right? And it's always an interplay between snapping the person down, hand goes to the floor, attacking the guillotine, hand goes over the shoulder, body comes up, Uchi Soto, one of those guys. Right? Sometimes I get this front headlock. If I can connect behind the tricep, I can bring this stomach across and go back arch. Pull the person down, head goes into the armpit, catches, and finish my Osoto or Harai. This is one of my favorite things to do when I used to wrestle back in the day. Right? So a couple different options. You can enter in this position by faking the shot, level changes, right? Right, level changes, connecting, kind of bring your hands to the floor, behind, guillotine, arm goes over the shoulder, right, going for the sort of pancake we call it sometimes, right? Sometimes George shoots in on the legs, down block, boom, right? Looking for the guillotine, snapping, right? He does nothing, maybe I go behind, and now I'm attacking the back situation. It's always an interplay. Spent many years like just looking for the guillotine, right? Just like, man, just trying to force it. Guy's fighting the hand off, throw his arm over. Gotta be able to adjust, adapt and adjust, right? Looks like here. Whew. The long one, Georgie.
Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah.